Okay, in this DMAC methodology of green belt, we are going to talk with measurement systems analysis. All right, the objective of this session is to measure. What is not measured cannot be improved. Okay, so the route to measurement is only when you measure, you can improve it. And when you measure, you identify the source of instability. When you measure, you will know whether the system is stable or not. Now, if the system is not stable, if there is a variation, the variation can be either because of the process or because of the measurement system itself. We talk about the 4 golden rules, okay? What is not measured cannot be improved is what we agree. What is not measured cannot be stabilized, because when you measure, you identify the sources of instability. Like when you go to the doctor, you measure the blood pressure, you measure the sugar level or heart rate or whatever. You identify the sources of variation. You identify the sources of instability. What is not measured cannot be stabilized. What cannot be stabilized cannot be standardized. What cannot be standardized cannot be sustained. And what cannot be sustained cannot be improved. So, MSSA, measure, stabilize, standardize, sustain, and improve. Okay. Now, if the fundamental measurement itself is not okay, your improvement, what you think is improvement, will not be the true improvement. So instead of focusing directly on the process performance, this section is focusing on evaluating the measurements. So define the basic measurement in terms of concepts, terms and concepts, and outline procedure for measuring, for performing a measurement system analysis. So today I have carefully put forth the different tools that we use in Six Sigma. Capital Y is the outcome, the effect. And small x's, x1, x2, x3 are the causes. For example, output is overweight and there are various reasons for my overweight. So Y is equal to f of x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, which means that I am overweight, which is the Y, because I'm not doing exercise x1, I'm not controlling my diet x2. Okay, maybe there is a hereditary hormonal issue, genetic x3, there is a stress x4, etc., etc. So that in the define phase, we are very clear about what is the output that we are going to measure. And we are going to define the process and the inputs. And I'm going to list the various tools, and I'm going to mention there that the measurement system analysis is one of the most important, fundamental, because if measurement itself is wrong, then the entire project will not give the performance. Okay. Now in the measurement, in the coming modules, I will talk about SPC, initial capability. I will introduce you to Pareto charts, which is pretty easy, but then I'll go deeply into CP and CPK, PP, PPK, okay, the machine capabilities, the process capabilities and all that, and the performance of Y over time. Okay, so which means that the output is my weight and how my weight is going up and down. But then the measurement of my weight should be using a gauge. Whether the gauge is reliable or not, that's something that I have to answer the question. In the measure phase, we have spoken about the process maps. And cause and effect matrix, we have not spoken about FMEAs anyway, because FMEAs we will come at a later stage, because that itself is a bigger topic. But I'll give you an introduction of FMEA in the subsequent modules. And we have to choose, we'll have to prioritize those X's. And this slide, whatever I've given, is one of the consolidated slides on the entire tools, not the entire tools, but the mostly used tools in the the DMAC methodology. So in the analyze phase, we use so many tools such as multivariate charts, SPC charts, several tests like t-test, chi-square test, regression analysis, surveys, simulate, etc., etc. Okay, I'm not going to go through this each and every one as of now. And then response service methodology, design of experiments, business process redesign, simulation, and all that we use in the improve phase. And we try to prove. So what we are basically trying to do here is, we are in the define phase, we are going to select a project through a business case. In the first session, I spoke about a business case. A business case is, we are justifying that this is the project that I'm going to take so that it will help me in the strategic objective of the organization. And once the business case has to be approved by, we also spoke about the team, the sponsor, the leader, and the members. The sponsor and the leader should sign up the business case, and then the project charter also should be signed by them. And once the project is taken, then the why is made clear, which we call as a problem statement, and we start measuring the whys to see what is the current capability. And in order to measure the current capability, we'll have to ensure that the measuring device, what we are going to use, is reliable. The equipment, what we are going to measure, should be reliable. Okay. Then from the process and output, we use process maps and all this stuff. Then in analyze phase, we do the analysis through various tests, what I've given here, like chi-square t-test and all that. And finally, we want to prove that y is equal to f of x, which means that we have narrowed down from the various causes, only few causes. We call it as a vital few, which is impacting the output in a major way. For example, my weight is majorly influenced by some diet, by some workout, by some this thing, which is X1, X2, X3. I'll give you one more example to remember, okay? Generally, I tell in the open house forums. Chaos in the city due to a bomb blast. Let's say there is a bomb blast or there is some sort of terrorist activity in the city. Immediately what they do is, the police will actually, whomever they doubt on, they will put them behind bars first, randomly. Similarly, whenever we have a bad output, whichever causes that you feel will influence this output, all the causes you need to take. That is what is called as actually listing out all the causes. Then after putting, once there is a terrorist activity or a bomb blast, once they are all put, anybody who is suspected, X1, X2, X3, X4, any suspect. That's why during brainstorming, we list all the causes, and all the causes are organized into what is called as cause and effect diagram. And from the cause and effect diagram, you identify major causes, and from major causes, you identify the root cause. Like in the city, when there is a terrorist activity, whomever is a suspect, you pull all of them and put behind bars. That is equivalent to, in a Six Sigma project, when you do a brainstorming, you list all the causes, all the suspects, probable causes, you list through discussion with people called brainstorm. After that, you organize those causes under various things. Like when we pull in all the suspects, we see, okay, these are all petty thieves, and these are all some not so big criminals. These classifies under terrorist category, etc., etc. You know, they classify into different ways. And after that, you identify the major causes, the major suspects. and then go into the root cause. And so finally in the improve phase, you establish a relationship stating x1, x2, x3, a few causes which actually influence the output, and you try to control those causes. And when you control the causes, you keep monitoring them after that. So you see that CP/CPK is initially also, and also after improvement also you see. And this proven critical excess are controlled.